Hey YouTube fam, how are you guys? It's your girl ReXG back with another video. If you are new here, welcome, and if you've already been here, welcome back. So today I wanted to do part 2 of Unpopular Opinions, and this is a series I started specifically for anyone that's living a child-free life or anyone that's more focused on other things in their life than having kids. Quick disclaimer. This video is not to offend anybody, neither is this series. This is specifically for people that can relate. If you're not child-free or you don't agree with anything involving people being child-free, this probably isn't the video for you. Pretty much my entire channel isn't for you. And I don't want to say anything that's going to offend anybody, but I made this series because it's short, it's to the point, many people can relate to it, child-free and non-child-free. And I think we should talk about these things. And I'm probably going to make a separate series, but for now, I really want to work on the unpopular series because everyone can relate. And most of the time, many people would say that these are actual facts because these are real things that have happened to real people. And if it's not you, you probably would know somebody that has been through these things or is going through these things. So let's get to the point.
Don't ever change for anybody. Don't ever trade your soul. Don't even listen to him. He don't know nothing at all. Try not to get too involved, but really it's breaking my heart. How you keep changing for him. Never forget who you are. Butterfly.
There's a possibility of someone baby trapping you. If you don't know what baby trapping is, it's basically when someone makes you become a parent, if that makes any sense. Let's just say you were, consensual with this person in an intimate way. And I don't know, they messed with or tampered with your birth control, or maybe you accidentally got someone pregnant and you didn't know about it, because they said they were on birth control, or maybe they tampered with the condoms or anything like that, or they messed with your pills or whatever you're doing to basically prevent your pregnancy. A lot of people can become baby trapped. And a lot of people do this through drugs. Like, I think the most recent thing I've heard about somebody being baby trapped is that this guy, he basically tampered with the drink that they were drinking. And many weeks later, she kept getting sick and she found out she was pregnant. But this is the last guy she was with, right? He was very manipulative and evil, and he basically forced this pregnancy onto her because she comes from a very religious background. So even when everyone found out she was pregnant, they manipulated her into having her baby. I think her baby's like 5 now, just started school, and she's pretty much been miserable the entire time of being a mom to this baby because it's kind of like she's carrying, the baby of her rapist, And a lot of people wouldn't see it like that. Well, she was aware and, she was drinking with him. Yeah, but no one knew. Like, she didn't have it in mind that he would tamper with her drink and basically take advantage of her. Because I think in order for it to be an agreed pregnancy, if both parties were consensual about it, there was no consent. He just took advantage of her and he forced the baby onto her. I'm not sure if he did something with her birth control after that, but he did take advantage of her and he basically baby trapped her. Not everybody's the same in that situation. I can't speak from a man's perspective, but it's the same way with men. The baby would be carried to term even if he says he's not cool with it. That would also be considered baby trapping. There's a possibility, and there's a lot of people that get with people that aren't child free and they make that happen. And I think that's honestly disgusting because if that person has made it clear to you that they don't want to be a parent and that they don't see themselves being responsible for a kid, and you force that onto them anyways, when they've made that clear a million times, you're disgusting. Because why would you do that? And then you're going to bring the baby here, and the baby's not going to have both parents in their life in a very, I guess you could say, balanced way, because one parent didn't want them and one parent basically obsessed over having them. And not just for women, because I am a woman, but I mean for men too. Like, there are some men that just don't want to be fathers, and there are women that force them to be fathers, when they made it clear that they weren't trying to go, down that road in life. I just think when you manipulate anybody and you make them do anything they don't want to do, it's disgusting. Because you just don't do that. Number 2 would be that you're not a disappointment for not having kids. You're not a disappointment to your parents or your family. I know that there are people that are only childs and their parents are basically looking forward to them continuing the bloodline. Well, if you don't do that, that doesn't mean you're a disappointment. You're still valued. You You still matter. You know, you still have a purpose. You still have business to handle. You're not a piece of nothing because you didn't have kids. I don't know why people shove that down kids. They shove that down their kids' throats, and then they wonder why their kids become depressed, or why they have this identity crisis, or why these people, these are adults that lose themselves and they never find themselves. So they're like 50 something, 60 something, miserable because they feel like a disappointment to their family. And that could be anything, not just having kids, but like anything, like not going to the school that your parents wanted you to go to, or not studying the major that your parents wanted you to, or not being friends with a certain group, or not getting married and having kids at a certain age. You're not a disappointment for doing what's best for you. Even if it was having kids, that shouldn't like determine, you know, your rank in your family. You know, I've seen people be disowned or mistreated because their siblings had kids and they didn't. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, even if I did have kids and they decided that they didn't want to have kids, I still love my child. Like, they still mean the world to me. If that's what makes them happy, and that keeps my baby smiling, that keeps my baby, content in life, I don't think I would care. And the only reason why I say that is because I've been in those people's shoes before. I've had people, you know, frown or even cry and get sad when they found out I was child free, because they wanted me to go through with a certain something that would satisfy them and not myself. And it just shows you how heartless people are towards even their loved ones. But you're not a disappointment. It's just something you just decided to do or decided not to do. And that's up to you. Okay, number 3 would be, just because you're good with kids doesn't mean you should have kids. Like, that's probably one of the dumbest bingos I've ever heard or received myself, because just because someone is good at something doesn't mean they should proceed to make that the main focus in their life. Like, I love cooking, right? I love food. I'm a food junkie. I love to eat. You know, I love to enjoy good food and good company while I'm eating. But that does not mean I want to be this top star chef. That's not what that means. I'm good at doing hair. I went to school to basically become a cosmetologist. I enjoy doing hair, nails, and makeup. That's something I proceeded to do because I wanted to. Not just because I'm good at it, but because it's in my heart. So someone might work with kids or be good with kids, but it might not be in their heart to actually have a kid of their own. And that's what people need to realize. You may be good at something, but that doesn't mean that stuff makes you happy. You know, you may have the skill to be, you know, a good therapist, but being an actual therapist might drive you insane. And then you might end up being the one that needs the therapy. So just because someone's good at something doesn't mean they have to, you know, make that their goal in life. And people need to realize that and stop telling people that just because they're good with kids, it doesn't mean they should have kids. I'm just saying. As a child-free woman in the Bible Belt, I think a lot of people can relate to this, not just being in the Bible Belt, but people that have, like, they've come from a traditional country where you just have to have kids. There are people that they're gonna disrespect you and talk to you crazy and say these mean, hurtful things simply because you can't have kids or don't want to have kids. People are really mean to child-free people, and that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Not everybody respects your choice, sadly. Like I said earlier, there are people that are disowned for simply not having kids or not being able to. There are people that get bullied and harassed on the internet, hate comments in real life and on the internet for simply not wanting kids or not being able to have kids. And I just think that's really sad, because it just shows that people don't really respect you as an individual. They just see you as this object or this product in society. And if you're not doing what society wants, it seems like a threat. Because, like, even on social media, and not just on the internet, but social media, in movies, child-free people are seen as these evil people, these people that have no heart. They're cold, right? They hate everybody. They hate everything, right? They don't have a life. They're miserable. They get such a bad end of the stick simply for not having kids in their life. And I just don't understand it. Like, the women are called witches, and the men are called grumpy and evil and murderous and all these stupid things that have nothing to do with the person's character. But you have to keep in mind that there are people that don't respect your choice, and that makes people stronger being disliked. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but just keeping in mind that not everybody respects your choice, and to just stay strong. And that's for anybody of all ages that are child free, even people that are older. Like, I've noticed people making comments towards older child free people like, oh, you don't have kids, that's why you're like that. It's not just because you're old, it's because you're lonely. Like, people can be really freaking mean, and you guys, you got to be strong, and you have to keep a very stern persona, and just let people know that, hey, this is something that I decided to do. It doesn't mean I'm unhappy. It's just a choice I made, which brings me over to the last one. I'm going to wrap the video up with this. You can't regret something you never wanted, okay? It's literally impossible. I don't regret not going to that party in high school, right? Because at that party, there were people getting shot at. There were people being drugged and taken advantage of. I don't regret not going to that party. There are so many people to this day telling me from high school, you know, you really should have been to that party. It was dope. It was lit. It was fun. Yeah, but people died. People were being sexually harassed. Some people even went missing. There were all types of crazy people at that party. But so many people are saying, yeah, but it was still fun. Yeah, I don't regret not going. I stayed at home. I watched a little Netflix, right? I ate my favorite foods. I was on the phone with the other half of my classmates that also didn't go to the party. It made me grateful because I'm still alive. I'm still sitting here. I'm making this video. I'm talking to you guys because I used my head and I listened to my heart, and I decided not to go to that party. And going to that party would have cost me my life. So I don't feel bad. I don't regret not going to that party because I never wanted to begin with. And I made that clear to the person that invited me. I just don't want to go. I don't have anything against, you know, the person that's over the party. I don't have anything against the host or the people there. I had a feeling, and I just knew in my heart, I don't want to go to that. That's not what I enjoy. And the things they were doing there, I don't enjoy doing those things, and I'm just not going to take part in it. And it's the same thing with being child free. When you tell people that they're going to regret something they never really wanted, you sound like an idiot. You really do. Because how can you regret something you never wanted? How can you regret it? I could see if I wanted it even a 2% of wanting it. I understand if I wanted it even a little bit and I would regret it later, but I never wanted it at all. So how would it make sense for me to regret that if I never wanted it in my heart? Like, I wouldn't regret getting a dog. I've always wanted a dog. I don't regret becoming a cosmetologist. I've wanted to do hair, nails, and makeup since I was a little girl. I've wanted to take part in beauty and help men and women feel good about themselves. I've always wanted that. So why would I regret that in the end? That literally makes no sense to me. I think a lot of people don't think about that before they tell someone else. You know, maybe in fact they regret things that they did, or maybe they regret becoming a parent. So they want to make you feel miserable because they're miserable. But I always say this: misery loves company. I don't see it any other way, because why are you trying so hard to make someone feel regretful and resentful towards their life if you don't have anything better to do? You're either jealous or you're miserable yourself, and you just want everyone else to be miserable with you. But not everyone regrets their choice. And there are people that regret their choice because they realize that once the kid is here, there's no going back. That's the end of the line. It stops right there once the child is here. But I would rather not regret having a kid than regret having a kid, because once that kid is here, I'm stuck with that. And that child would have to live with the fact that their mom does not love them or can't love them. To hear that your parent had you, not because they wanted to, but because they thought they had to, because a group of bingoers told them to, because they were manipulated into having you, not because they truly wanted you in their heart. You know how hurtful that is? That hurts like hell. So I always tell you guys, do what you want to do if you desire it, not because someone told you to or because you thought you had to. Okay? This is a wrap for my video. I thank you guys for watching part 2 of Unpopular Opinions. There's more to come. Please be patient. And if you haven't already, click the bell so you can get more notifications on when I post. and go check out my Instagram. Take care, you guys. Peace.